And we are back, and we just finished watching 1988's They Live, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 34 minutes. This is by director John Carpenter, with writing credits to John Carpenter and Ray Nelson. This is based on a short story by Ray Nelson called 8 o'clock in the morning. This is the story of a drifter named Nada, played by wrestling legend Roddy Piper, who is out in Los Angeles, I guess, or California. I think it's Los Angeles, looking for work, and stumbles across a hidden secret. We've seen this before, and I feel like this still holds up. There's themes of subliminal messaging and alien invasion and what else? Rich versus poor. No,
yeah, it's basically like a class war sort of thing. A comment on over commercialism, capitalism, consumerism. This is an old film, so I think we could give away the reveal, and that is that humanity has unknowingly been enslaved by aliens who basically have used some sort of transmission. Which makes us look at the world and see what we normally see, magazine covers and television and whatnot. But the real world, if you look through these specific glasses, you find out that the billboards, they just say small messages like obey, marry and reproduce, watch television, submit. Obey, yeah. And the wealthy people, the people in the upper levels of society, the high positions in your banks and tech companies and oil companies, they are all aliens who look bizarrely like zombies, kind of. They have like these weird eyes. You can see their teeth. And through the course of the movie, Nada, or Roddy Piper, he stumbles upon sort of an underground movement who know the truth and are trying to get the message out, but are pretty much seen as crazy people.
Right. Or rebels to be crushed.
Yeah.
Very Star Wars-y, I guess.
Yeah.
This is also in that 80s range, so it's not like Star Wars or Raiders, but I think it's still like a really great piece of storytelling in 80s cinema. I mean, you have John Carpenter attached to it, who is just, you forget, like, sometimes, I guess because he hasn't made a film in so long, but you forget what an impact this man had on films. And not just films, I mean, just like everything about films. He's directing, he's writing. I mean, this is written under Frank Armitage, which is his pseudonym. This is something that we learned in Ben Mankiewicz's intro. So
yeah, we saw this on TCM.
TCM,
this is a
folks.
Classic movie.
Is a classic movie. Absolutely. If TCM is playing it, although they put Demon Lover, so I don't know how much. I still don't get that.
Jesus Christ.
Also an 80s film.
What was that doing there?
I don't know.
Did Ben Mankiewicz do an intro on that one?
That was just straight on, but I don't know. But anyway, I digress. But again, Carpenter, he really he made some very important films.
He was colossally influential.
Yeah,
I mean,
on so many people.
Just Halloween, The Thing, They Live,
Big Trouble in Little China.
All of those were just they molded a lot of what we see today.
Yeah, they influenced so many storytellers.
So damn influential. The lines are still being spoken today. People who have no idea where this came from are saying stuff about these films from these movies. Yeah, like there's parodies of it, and little kids are just like, yeah, it's funny.
I've come to chew gum and kick ass, and I've run out of chewing gum, whatever that line is. I love that.
Which apparently was improvised by Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was a master of just crazy promos in wrestling. If you were,
I mean, if anyone's going to excel at this, it's definitely somebody who's got that carny
he
mentality.
was always one of my favorites when I was a little kid. I just remember
Piper's Pit.
Exactly. I just remember Piper's Pit, watching it with my dad on Saturday morning because they had WWF
at the time,
Superstars.
Right? Yes.
And him interviewing Jimmy Snuka and just blasting a coconut over his head. It exploded, and my dad and me laughing hysterically as Roddy Piper just throws the entire set on top of Jimmy Snuka and beats the crap out of him. Oh my God.
Yeah. And yet, it's funny because firstly, you don't think of this like big meathead wrestler as a leading man, but he does a great job here. I think he does a great job. He carries the film. Him and the character Frank, played by our always favorite Keith David, who also is in the Carpenter world, stable of actors and stuff. Childs, love him. That's my favorite. But yeah, so just again, how Carpenter weaves these really interesting stories, and to mix the story of alien invasion and subliminal messages to kind of be an allegory for just the evils of consumerism and classism and all this other stuff is really, really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done.
And it definitely has been redone and redone and redone over time. I mean, it may actually be a little bit too much now, because now everybody is, what's the conspiracy?
Right. Sure.
And it's a lot of the stuff you hear about now could basically be boiled down to, you've watched too many movies like They Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the truth. Yeah. There's a lot of people who they won't believe anything. They think it's, we're just all out to get you.
Right.
They're giving children horse needles full of vaccines, and because they want to give everybody autism. And it's just sort of like,
that's not how it works.
You've watched too many damn movies. Yeah. You've really watched too many movies.
And it's too bad, because I feel like this film is ripe for a reboot. But again, to your point, it probably isn't the right time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to stop anybody.
No,
even
not.
With what I'm saying, there's still even with what I'm saying, there's still movies coming out now where it's just they're coming to get us.
Yeah. Get
look,
your guns.
Look. I mean, Jesus Christ! Look what happened to Randy Quaid.
Oh God.
He went completely insane. The helicopters are here again.
And his brother's not too far off either.
Yeah, they're going into that hole.
That's disappointing. But bringing it back to full circle to John Carpenter again, like, he's writing the script, he's directing, he's producing, he's making the music for his films, and I think that you forget his legacy again, because I think it's been so long, but 80s, late 70s, 80s Carpenter is just firing on all cylinders, and this film is no exception. Again, it's from 88. It's a little dated, but I think it still plays well here with the messaging of what it's telling you. And
yeah, I would say it's, I mean, if you want to see his best, go watch The Thing.
That's my favorite.
That's the absolute, I mean, he was, I don't know. He caught lightning in a bottle with that one.
Yeah.
They Live is good, though. It's not up on the same level as The Thing.
The Thing is his magnum opus.
That's his masterpiece.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, he's just for that time period, like his name, he was like the Stephen King of movies.
Yes, kind of. Yeah.
And he actually did a Stephen King, Christine, which was also
that's right.
Which was also really good.
Good. Yeah. You forget, like, it's so, like, you and I were talking the other day about, like, I think we were talking about Phil Collins. Like, you forget like all this catalog of amazing music, because he hasn't really done anything in recent years. But when you go back into the archives and like really listen to this stuff, it's like,
I think it sort of got lost in the sea of the Disney stuff that he did.
Possibly, but even the Disney stuff is pretty exceptional.
Even the Disney stuff is great, but the music people look down their noses at it because he just decided he's just going to make soundtracks for cartoons.
Listen, get that cash, my king. No shame in it.
But back to Carpenter. Yeah, he was like the guy for horror movies.
Yeah, and
also surprisingly, I mean, I probably wouldn't listen to a soundtrack of John Carpenter's music, but it was, he scored his films with stuff that let's be honest. I mean, you look at like Stranger Things. The opening credits of Stranger Things would not be what they are if it wasn't for John Carpenter.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, he had that aesthetic, which was just perfect.
And he didn't do the music for The Thing. It was somebody else. But
that was Ennio Morricone. That was just amazing.
Yeah, it really lends itself to the film.
Yeah,
it gives it such it propels it to like next level.
Yeah, good. Yeah, The Thing is a masterpiece.
It really is, and that's the type of stuff that I wish they would teach in schools. Not The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari or The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. No, my friends, The Thing from John Carpenter. Anything else you want to add to this? I mean, there's no critique as far as I'm concerned. This is, again, it's from 88. Parts of it feel dated, but I think that it would still hold up today.
There are dated parts. I would probably say if you really wanted to complain about something, maybe that fight between Childs and Roddy could have. No, it was great. But it could have been a little shorter.
Why though? I loved
it. I think there was like 3 stages to that fight where it was just like, okay, the fight's over. No, it's not. We're gonna fight another 5 minutes, and then it was like, wait a minute, is it over yet? No, we're gonna fight another 5 minutes. And it was all entertaining. I mean, they're doing suplexes in an alley.
I know. It gets vicious.
It gets vicious, but there are parts you could see that, okay, we have a very limited budget and we could do this, so let's just do this for maybe a bit longer than we normally would have. Mm-hmm. Look, that's probably the only modern take that I could give on it, and that would be a criticism, but I'm still enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I am still enjoying the hell out of what I am watching.
Yeah.
And, I remember seeing this in the movies with my friend Mike.
Same.
Yeah, and then at the end with that ridiculous, hey, what's wrong, baby?
Because you have to have the gratuitous boob scene.
Oh yeah, you gotta have it. It's the 80s. Yeah, you gotta throw some boobs in there, and just end in the theater with a laugh.
Yes.
Or end in the movie with a laugh.
I mean, Carpenter, give this man his flowers, please, please. He is an unsung hero. We genuinely forget this man, but please let's not do that, because he was just a maverick storyteller and just a filmmaker in general.
Yeah, we wouldn't have so much without him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing everything. He is doing everybody's job in these films, and just highly entertaining. I mean, Jack Burton, Pork Chop Express.
The Pork Chop Express.
Shoot. Ain't nothing better. Lopan. God damn.
Doesn't like James Hong sometimes come out in the costume every once in a while?
As he should. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any critiques. I mean, is it a perfect film? No. But I think for the time and stuff and the messaging of the film, I think it does a really good job of it. I think
this is a good popcorn movie.
Absolutely.
Just sit back and enjoy
madness
and the craziness of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not a long film. It's R for language, I think, and I guess violence.
Yeah, people are getting shot up.
Yeah. An hour and 34 minutes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do yourself a favor. I mean, it is not going to be playing on TCM with the lovely Ben Mankiewicz, because he did do like an intro for it. I can't remember, but it was good. But you can get this to buy rent on Prime Video. $3.99 is not a bad investment for just good entertainment, folks. So 1 to 10, what would you give this film?
Just because it survives living in nostalgia, I'd give it an 8. A lot of films just don't. They belong in nostalgia. But this one, you could reach into that little closet and pull it out, and it's still entertaining.
And this is a property that would be ripe for a reboot. I would love to see this in a younger filmmaker's hands, and what their interpretation and how they would play this out. What do you think? Would this play better out as a film or as a limited series? Because you can really get into the nitty gritty with a limited series.
You can go either way. I think if it was a series, it would, like you said, it would have to be limited, like just one season of it where you get your definitive ending. Because one thing bad of it is it's like, oh, we made a series of this show and we're just going to drag it out as long as we possibly can.
I think that was the nice thing about Watchmen. They knew that they wanted to end strong, and they finished after that
Watchmen,
one season.
Watchmen was an original story.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. That was just the end. They could have made it more, but they didn't. They chose not to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, either way, this could just be a movie. I would be satisfied with that. I don't hold it as preciously as I do other stuff. Like, they should never have tried to
Time Bandit.
Well, there's Time Bandit. I was going to talk about the stuff that they did with the Thing afterwards.
Oh,
they made 2 Thing movies, didn't they?
I just know the Mary Elizabeth Winstead one.
Yeah, there was like that prequel, and then did they try and reboot it, or maybe I'm thinking of, maybe I've merged them into the same thing, but they messed it up.
Yeah,
they didn't. It's like they forgot how the monster worked in the Thing, and this is supposed to be a prequel.
Oh, was it Mary Elizabeth, or is it Naomi Rapace? I don't remember.
No, it was Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, there's an American girl at the Norwegian station. They were bending over backwards. Less said about that, the better.
Yeah. The only reason I would want a limited series would be to kind of get the backstories, because you don't get the backstories for Frank's character or Nada's character. It would be interesting to see. Not
much. I mean, that's the thing. It's let's just get to it. He's basically he's a drifter who's down on his luck, and that's really all you needed to know.
I would have liked to know more about him. I mean, he's a charismatic character. In that short time, you want Nada to come out on top. You want him to succeed here. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it would be nice to sort of get a little backstory. And I don't know if this is trivia, but Nada in Spanish means nothing.
Yeah. So
I think that's interesting that this character's name is Nada.
Yeah, so there is a story there.
Yeah, and Frank refers to his wife and children, whom he left behind. Like, I would like to get a little, maybe glimpses of what his life was like. Yeah. Kind of. So if they did do a limited series, I'm looking at you, HBO, because you certainly have the money. It would be nice to see that. Don't let Apple jump on this, HBO.
Who knows? All right, so what did you give it?
Did you give it a number? I did not, but I too would give this an 8, and not just for nostalgia's sake, but I think because it's held the test of time. I think that, is it a perfect film? No, absolutely not. Are parts of it dated? Sure, but the script, the idea behind the story, and the performances really keep this in the plus side in Carpenter's overture of work. And I think that if you haven't seen it, you absolutely should do yourself a favor. Everybody who's a film student absolutely should watch this. Anybody interested in creature design or stuff like that, you should absolutely watch this. I think that writers, people that write for screenplays, this is an hour and 34 minutes. In an hour and 34 minutes, you've created an interesting, high concept story, melding different genres and themes, and with really likable characters, so that by the end, I'm completely invested in the outcome. So yeah, I would recommend this. And even if you're not, I mean, obviously this is going to play more to a sci-fi audience, but even if you're not, I think you should give it a chance, and I think you'd be pleasantly pleased. Again, it's only an hour and 34 minutes.
It's a fun popcorn movie, with like some
deeper themes
if you're interested in exploring those, but they're not necessary
over your head.
You're not beaten to death with them.
Yeah,
it's wrapped up in a nice, fun popcorny package.
Yeah, and I like how Carpenter, again, this is based on a short story, but I love how Carpenter kind of incorporates stuff from the 50s where alien invasions were a huge sort of story point in films. And to see those elements in this film was also really fun, like the way the subliminal messages play out and stuff, and the sunglasses that allow you to see what's really going on. So, yeah, just really well done from start to finish. Again, Give John Carpenter his flowers. He absolutely deserves them. We don't say that name enough. Maybe people don't take it seriously like a Spielberg or a Scorsese, but let me tell you something. A lot of these new filmmakers were absolutely influenced by Carpenter. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Maybe we should do a double feature. Maybe we could do Big Trouble in Little China with the kids and pair these two together.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. 8-8. Absolutely. Do yourself a favor. Run and do not walk and check it out. They Live from 1988. Rented on Prime. It's currently $3.99. It is a small investment for huge returns. And with that, we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.